Have you ever wondered what the optimal barrel length is for your rifle? Well, today we're going to find out. Unreal. So the 300 Blackout was designed for a short barrel rifle or carbine style rifle or even a handgun. And there's a lot of conversation on the internet of what is the optimal barrel length. Well, today we're going to find out. So we have the Encore platform here. The standard barrel length is 26 inches long. So we're going to fire this across the chronograph and find out exactly what the velocity is of this 300 Blackout. Now this was designed so these could fit in a standard 5.56 magazine. They can be shot out of an AR-15 at varying barrel lengths. But do you get higher velocity at longer barrel lengths? Do you lose performance at shorter barrel lengths? So we're going to take this exact barrel at 26 inches, and after we chronograph it, we're then going to cut it down to 16 inches, and then we're going to cut it down to 10 inches and show you the results. All right, we just programmed our Garmin here. We have the Hornady Blackout, 208 grain. And like I said, this caliber is really unique because it was designed for close quarters combat. So you're not shooting long distances. Its predecessor to this was actually called the 300 Whisper that came out around 2009 by J.D. Jones in SSK, but it was never SAMI approved cartridge. So the military wanted to have a SAMI approved cartridge. So AAC came through in about 2010, developed this cartridge, so this will fit in your standard 5.56 magazine. It will run in a lot of your standard AR guns, but a lot of those guns have varying barrel lengths, 18 inches, 16 inches, and of course SBR rifles are becoming more popular now, as well as handguns. So I'm really curious, is this going to lose performance when we cut it down from 26 inches down to 10 inches? So let's start with our first round going through 26 inches. We'll shoot a 3-shot string, come up with our average chronograph speed. And then we're going to head over to the design facility where our Director of Engineering, Carl Ricker, he's going to take this barrel, he's going to whack it off down to 16 inches. .1125, that's actually pretty fast. So the design of this round is to both work supersonic and subsonic. So it's not going very fast, but it's a fairly heavy bullet. 1128. So super consistent. 1125, 1128, and that is with a 26-inch barrel. So again, this caliber is designed for close quarter combat. It's not a hunting round. So we're going to change the barrel in the Encore now, put a 350 Legend on, which is a straight wall cartridge, super popular in the Midwest for deer hunting in states that allow to use straight wall cartridges in lieu of slug guns. And we're going to also cut that down and to see, is there a difference using a hunting round versus a tactical round? Now that we swapped out the Encore barrel for a 350 Legend, we're going to go ahead and shoot 165 grain bullet. Now the velocity of this should be significantly higher because this was designed as a deer hunting round. Let's see, Hornady on their box is saying 2,200 feet per second. Let's see how it performs. 2281. All right. Significantly faster, obviously, than the Blackout. So we're 1125. And the Blackout, we're 2281. So the box from Hornady is saying 2,200 feet per second. We're a little bit faster, but we are shooting this out of a 26-inch barrel. 2250. All right. Super consistent, very fast, over 2,200 feet per second on the 350 Legend. We're going to take the barrel off now, take both of these barrels, head over to the design center, and then Carl's going to cut both of these barrels down. We're going to cut the 300 Blackout down to 16 inches, which is the shortest barrel length you can have on a rifle frame assembly. And then we're going to take the 350 Legend and cut it down to 20 inches. 20 inches is a really good length if you want to run a barrel suppressed or you want to have a barrel in a deer stand or a ground blind. So it's still effective in the overall length, but it's not considered a really short barrel gun. So 20 inches on the 350 Legend, 16 inches on the 300 Blackout. Let's cut them down.
There you go.
Ready to cut down, huh?
Ready to cut.
Today we're cutting down a couple barrels more to test velocity than accuracy. So what we'll do is we'll just cut them off so we can make it a little bit quicker on a regular bandsaw. If we were shooting for accuracy, we would cut it here, put it in a lathe, true up the face, and recrown it. In this case today, we don't have to. We just cut them to length and we can test our velocities. Here's the 350 Legend. We're gonna actually cut this one down to 20 and see how the velocity changes from the original barrel length.
All right, so we cut the 300 Blackout barrel down to 16 inches, which is the legal overall length for the barrel that it needs to be considered a rifle and not a handgun. So unless you have a special permit, a short barrel rifle, you cannot go under 16 inches for a rifle if you have a rifle stock on it. But as you can see on the Encore platform, how short that looks. Remember, you don't have an action, so you don't have a semi-automatic like an AR, you don't have a bolt action, so you're saving 5 or 6 inches in overall length. But that is a short little barrel there, but completely legal. So now we're gonna see how much velocity that we lost. We were 1125, 1128 with the 300 Blackout with the 26-inch barrel, so this is 10 inches shorter. I have no idea what we're gonna lose in velocity, but let's throw a round down range. $11.34. Interesting. Let's shoot this again. $11.45. Okay, so what does that say? We actually picked up velocity cutting the barrel down. So we went from 1125, 1128 to 1145, 1134, so we picked up 10 feet per second. So we're getting bullet drag going down a longer barrel. So not only are you increasing velocity when you cut your barrel down, it's more efficient, that you're probably picking up accuracy as well because you don't have that bullet drag going down the barrel. I did not expect that. Personally, I thought it was going to stay the same. I didn't think we're going to increase velocity, but the chronograph doesn't lie. You can actually pick up velocity in a shorter barrel. So now that we're at 16 inches, we're going to now cut this down to 10 inches. But before we do that, let's put the 350 Legend barrel on and see if that made a difference. Now we cut that barrel from 26 inches down to 20 because again, this is a hunting caliber. We're not trying to create a combat gun in this situation. We're just making it a more efficient deer round. So I'll pop the scope off of this, I'll pop the barrel off, and let's see if cutting the barrel down on the 350 Legend made any appreciable difference. Real easy to remove the Encore barrels. The trick is to get this frame in the right position and just punch that pin out. Now that we have the 350 Legend all mounted up, 20 inches overall length, which is the same length as what we would call our Katahdin barrel. So my guess is we're going to lose a little bit of velocity, but not very much. I certainly don't expect this to gain velocity like the 300 Blackout did. $22.35. Really, the velocity held extremely well. Virtually no change in velocity going from 26 to 20. It tells you how efficient this cartridge is for this barrel length. Another shot, ring the plate. .2236. Really, really good standard deviation. I mean, just a few feet per second difference. So conclusion here, from 26 to 20, you're not losing any velocity, you're holding pretty steady. You do have a platform that is a shorter barrel, so it's easier to shoulder, right? Easier to have in a deer blind, easier to have in a stand, easier to stalk with, easier to carry over your shoulder. The longer barrel, though, it does give you a little bit more weight, takes some recoil out, gives you a little bit better balance. But overall, if I was shooting a 350 Legend, right now, it tells me I should be shooting a 20-inch barrel. All right, back to the shop. Carl's going to cut these down again. We're now going to cut the 300 Blackout to 10 inches, which is not unusual for that length of barrel. We're going to have to put that actually onto a pistol frame because we're going under the legal limit. We'd be more in the SBR class there. And we're going to go ahead and cut the 350 Legend to 15 inches to see if it would be efficient in a handgun hunting round. Let's see what they look like.
So we're going to take the same barrels that we've cut down once and check velocities, and we're going to cut them down further. The 300 Blackout, we're going to cut down actually to 10 inches and thread it so we can put a suppressor on it. And then the 350 Legend, we're going to cut down to 15 inches. And the reason for 15 inches is that's the standard length Encore pistol barrel. So we'll be able to get velocities at the pistol length and also at the rifle lengths. Now we're going to take them and we'll deburr the 15 inch because we're just going to test velocity on that. On this one here, we're going to chew up the end of the barrel a little bit, and then we're going to rethread it so it'll actually have the ability to put a suppressor on it. Right now we have these to test. The 300 Blackout, which would be a great combination, is a 10-inch barrel and threaded for the suppressor. So we're going to test that and see how this changes velocities. And then, as we said earlier, the 350 Legend is cut at 15 inches, which would be our normal pistol barrel length. So this should be a great handgun cartridge.
All right, we just cut these two barrels down. This is a 350 Legend. This is a 15-inch barrel, so now it's under 16 inches, so we cannot run this on the rifle stock assembly. It'd be considered an SBR, short barrel rifle. But we did this just to show you how effective this 350 Legend could be in a handgun hunting round. Then we also took the 300 Blackout and cut this down to 10 inches, which is a very common length for the 300 Blackout. 9 inches, 10 inches. And we also took the time and threaded it for a suppressor. So we're going to go ahead, take the 350 Legend, mount it on the pistol frame. Now remember, this frame assembly on the Encore is identical, whether it's a handgun or a rifle. The only thing that changes is the stock comes off, the grip comes on. Mount this up. I'm really interested to see how this works. I don't have any idea what we're going to lose in velocity or performance. Because we are cutting down the rifle, the holes right here are actually for the forend for a rifle. So we're going to hope that one of these holes will line up for forend for the handgun. Not that we really need it, but be easier to put it on the rest this way. So we were around 2230 out of the 20-inch barrel. 26 and the 20-inch barrel were relatively the same in velocity. Shows you the efficiency of the round. My guess is we'll lose a little bit of speed, but I have no idea. I mean, the 350 is a pretty effective round. It's its own case. Here we go. 2152. So somewhere around 80 feet per second. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. 15-inch barrel, and really not bad to handle either. Definitely better than shooting a 30-06 or 308 in the handgun. Wow. 2160. So 70, 80 feet per second drop, going from 20 inches to 15 inches. You know, if you wanted to run a 16-inch barrel, you may be closer to 2200, maybe 2180. So absolutely an efficient round, fun handgun round. I may have found the next handgun caliber I'm going to shoot this fall. 350 Legend, 15-inch barrel. Absolutely a fantastic round to shoot out of the handgun. Let's take the fore end off, pop the barrel off, and put the 300 Blackout. I think we know how this one's going to perform. Super efficient in a short barrel. And that little guy. Now, just because we can, we're going to go ahead and put a suppressor on it. I have to admit, I've never shot an Encore handgun suppressed. How wicked does that look right there? 10-inch, 300 Blackout barrel, fully suppressed. I would imagine the recoil is not going to be bad at all. Virtually silent. This isn't even subsonic ammo. This is hypersonic. Look at this. 1,084 feet per second. Hardly lost anything. So we lost 25, 30, we lost 40 feet per second going from 16 to 10. Virtually nothing. Unreal. 1,093 feet per second. We're talking only 30 foot per second drop from 26 to 16, it went up 10 feet per second, and it's only gone down 30 feet, going from a 16-inch barrel down to a 10-inch barrel. And talk about something nice to shoot out of a handgun. No recoil, super quiet with the suppressor on there. Obviously, this adds a little bit of weight and length, so it does help keep that muzzle jump from coming up, but I absolutely can stay on target. So there you go. Whether you want an efficient handgun hunting round, the 350 Legend, that also performs well at 20 inches and 26. Definitely recommended 350 Legend. And the king of silenced cartridges right now, the 300 Blackout. And we proved to you there's virtually no difference in velocity drop between 26 down to 10 inches.